Welcome to OPN One-on-One, brought to you by Our Paramotor Nation and all of its sponsors. Our Paramotor Nation is a live weekly interactive show each Sunday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, bringing on paramotor pilots from around the world. Check out the show's website to see all of the upcoming shows, the past shows, and all of its sponsors. On this episode, we will hear from Tim Gaskins, a pilot of almost 20 years and a member of the Bad Apples. He will share a few of his most bizarre flying stories and let us know some of the things to expect in the 2021 Bad Apples flying. And now, let's start the show with David Wolf and his guest Tim Gaskins.
You were reminding me when you're talking about Bruce flying over you and calling down to you. So last night, I'm gonna show you this video I took. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. Let's see here. See if you can see that.
Yeah, I can see it.
So this is last night. My wife and I went out to dinner with some friends, and I was kind of bummed out because it was at 6 o'clock and my buddies are on our text message saying, "Hey, we're going at 5 o'clock." I'm like, ugh, I can't go. So sure enough, like, you sons of and that was Patrick Bryant, I'm pretty sure. That was
I get to when a couple of years after I met Bruce, he met Sue. He calls Sue the Sergeant Major. That's what he used to call Sue. Is Sergeant Major going to let you come fly with us today? Which she's always did. But he went out flying one day. He took off, and I'm out in the yard. Nobody called, so I didn't know anybody was flying. Next thing I hear the motor, and I look up, and here's Bruce flying over my house. And the FAA holding it. All of a sudden, he starts foot dragging the peak of my roof line.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I said some of the stuff we did.
So the Bad Apples, and I'm sure, just like any group, there's a bit of secrecy as well. But like you said, your call sign is branch manager. I know
because I went into the trees. Everybody thinks because I'm from Flowery Branch, but no.
Are you allowed to tell some of the other call signs?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I know two friends of mine. Let's start with one of the most recent. I think she was inducted at the last Bad Apples. Fireball. That would be Leah Catullo. How did Leah get her name Fireball?
Well, she was able to fly in up at, I think it's Jeff Pearson's. And I guess it was an incident between her and Jeff Pearson, and Jeff lost. And he went down in the ball of fire, so that's how she got her call sign Fireball. And she kept flying. And I'm not into this blame game or something like that. It's just, that's how stuff like you get it. We got one called Asswipe, because every time he came in, he landed on his ass.
Okay, now my favorite from the ones that I know.
Well, I know which one you get to.
Go ahead.
I know which you get to. We have another one called Face Plant.
No, that's not good.
No. I know. But every time he did, because he face planted.
Who is that?
That was Worth McDaniel. He's Bad Apple number 5. Shredder is Marky. He's Bad Apple number 3. One of the most phenomenal pilots you'd ever meet. Okay. He was doing stuff, and I don't want to say this. He was doing stuff 20 years ago that I see that they're teaching at SIV clinics, but he was doing it on old stuff and old wings. Stuff he would do. I mean, his sats and stuff, twist. I mean, an unbelievable guy from England, but he's been over here in the United States for a long time.
There's no doubt in my mind, a pilot doesn't make a wing. A wing doesn't make a pilot. The pilot makes a wing.
Yeah.
I mean, and Fireball, Leah Catullo proves that, she was able to take a beginner wing up and do everything on it.
Yeah. She's awesome.
Everything she's got an advanced wing.
Okay, let's see that one. Del Miller is Viagra, because we were at the beach one time and he did 18 attempts to do a reverse to get up. So we called him Viagra since he couldn't get it up. Just, that's kind of little call signs like that. Rocky is Pet for Rockwell Smith.
Okay.
Rocky, we call him Pet Rock.
All right.
So little stuff like that.
Wait a minute. He didn't do anything stupid. He just got Rocky. He just got Rocky.
Oh no. Let me put this. The first time Bruce ever saw him fly, we were at what we call the BIP, or the whip, the Water Dynamical Repair Park. And he took off in a trike, and he clipped trees, he did all this stuff.
Oh.
And Bruce looked at me, he goes, "Oh my God, this guy's dangerous." He goes, "He's got to be a bad apple." That's exactly how he said it. So, and Rocky is one of the first guys that I ever saw Mike Britt get real concerned about flying out of his place. He takes off and he goes down a route looking, "Rocky, come on, you got to climb. And then he goes behind if you've never flown out of Mike's place, it is a difficult place at some points. But you go behind this one little cove and you can't see him. We're going, what happened? All of a sudden he comes out. He's still low. And he just keeps circling. Finally, he gets up there. And first thing out of Mike's bed, after he gets up, he goes, "Who is that?" We said, "That's Rocky." He goes, "Did he sign a waiver?" And we said, "Yeah." He goes, "He's not flying here again." So, but he does.
Now,
So,
who is with
no, wait, got him Rocky's motto. I got to say what Rocky's motto is.
Okay.
When Rocky started out, he'd go full throttle and never come off it. Rocky, and we go, "Rocky, what about this?" He goes, "I'll sort it out when I get in the air."
Yeah.
That was Rocky.
That's I think a lot of beginners think that way, that I'll just, especially on trikes.
Okay.
I'll
Now-
do like this, and that's how I was when I started. I was just like this. My takeoffs are horrible, and I used to think, well, I'll just
You
sort
know
it
how
out when I
to,
get up.
well, you know how to correct it.
Marco,
Yeah.
what's Marco? Didn't Marco just get inducted as well, or has he been in? For a while?
He's been in for a while. No. He's been in. Let's see. Did I do it? When did I do Leah? I did Leah in Melbourne. When did I do Leah?
The last one, 2 years ago.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I did her at the same time.
Okay. So what's Marco's call sign?
I gotta look it up. There's so many of them.
I'll look it up.
Seriously. I mean, literally, I gotta look him up. No, I know what it is, but wait. I don't want to lose this thought I got.
Do you need to
He
call?
said this-
Do you need to call Sue with that computer that
Yeah.
you're trying to look it up on?
You know what she just did to me?
What'd she do?
She went out and bought all these lifesavers. I heard my son kid me, my son and Jimmy kid me, because when he calls, I say, "Hey, how you guys doing?" He goes, "You keep asking the same question." I said, "Well, you keep calling. I just wonder how you doing today." And he looked at Sue. He goes, "Mom, I think he's right." So she goes, I'll give him the Alzheimer's pill." And I said, "What?" So she went and bought a whole bunch of lifesavers. And she goes, "Tim, every time you do this, I'm going to give you a lifesaver." So I've been taking one a long time.
Okay.
But,
Marco.
yeah, I'm trying to think now. Damn, what is Marco's thing? I should know it. Damn it. I got them all written down.
All
So,
right.
well, 50 of them, but yeah.
I hope Marco's not watching this. He won't.
Marco loves me. He knows me. As soon as I hang up, I'm going to say his name. But
What about Marty? What about Marty?
Marty is paparazzi.
Paparazzi.
Marty always took pictures.
Okay.
And it just happened. Marty was always there when you screwed up.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous to see Marty next time if I see him.
He takes a lot of pictures.
I'm just saying, after our last encounter,
he was laughing. He was laughing at too. But I think I scared him more than you did. He looked at me and said, "Hey, but wow!" I thought you were out of here.
All right, Michelle.
Okay, now
Michelle Bingham.
Can I tell a little story about it first?
Of course.
Oh, good. Okay. I met Michelle actually down at Sun and Fun. Some guy walked up to me. He goes, "Tim," he goes, "You're still up in Atlanta?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Hey, there's someone we want you to meet." And I walk in and she's sitting down, and someone said, "Tim, this is the girl I was telling you about." And she stood up and, I introduced myself and I told her, "Yeah, I'm up in Atlanta." And she goes, "Well, I'm only getting this PPG and that's where I live." And so we talked about where she's going to get her training and who that, which comes up to another story. So while she was doing that, she asked about, motors. And she said, "I'm going to get my training with Eric DeFore." And I said, "Great." And she said, "Well, Eric may have a motor for me." And she told me, and I said, "Oh, that's Jack Kimball's motor. He had an Ultra 130 that he was selling." And I said, "He takes good care of his stuff." And so we meet at Beach Blast. And we're down there and I'm talking to Michelle and she's getting an idea. And that is one thing I like to tell new guys. If they're thinking about getting in the sport, go to a fly-in, look at the different units, talk to the different people about wings, motors, see what they think about instructors and stuff. That's one of the most informative places you could ever go.
Yeah.
If you want to, plus start to meet the people. So Michelle went down to the Beach Blast and we were sitting talking and she said, "Yeah, I want to talk to Eric about this motor." I said, "Well, Jack's right down on the beach." And she goes, "Who?" I said, "Guy you buying the motor from." So we walked down to the beach and just so happens Bruce Arian, Bad Apple #1, was sitting there with him. And she looks at my hand and I said, "Michelle, this is Bruce. And Jack, this is Michelle. She could buy your motor." So Jack and her went off and talked about the motor and stuff. And later on, I was talking to Michelle and she goes, she came to the clubhouse and she's looking like that. She goes, "You know Bruce Arian?" And I said, "Yeah, he's one of my best friends." And I said, "I go to this houseboat all the time. We go, out there flying the islands and stuff like that." And she goes, "Man, I had such a crush on him."
Really?
I said, "What?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, he used to fly the helos. He used to fly light flight and stuff like that in the news helicopters. He flew into her school landed there, and all the kids got to come out and meet him. She fell in love with him. She had a crush on him. And she told me, she said, yeah, he's one of the reasons I got into aviation.
Wow.
And she goes, he was so handsome. I said, well, you met him. And she goes, no, I've never really met him. I said, Michelle, you met Bruce Arian. And she goes, when? I said, when we had Beach Blast. Remember when I took you down to see Jack? She goes, yeah. And I said, Bruce is the guy that's standing right next to him. She goes, that old guy?
Oh yeah, there it is. I knew that was coming. That's awesome.
And so, well, Bruce and I were sitting there later on, and Bruce and I always used. He was an Army special, Army Ranger and stuff, Silver Star recipient, all this stuff. He was also the CEO of the Silent Guard up at Tomb for the Unknown Soldier in Washington D.C. So we always used to kid each other, and we got to dinner. We went to Wise and stuff, and Bruce, knows like Zigo. I said, hey, Bruce, I said, you remember Michelle Helms? He goes, oh, yeah, that beautiful woman. I said, yeah, Delta pilot. He goes, yeah. He goes, yeah. I said, yeah, she had a crush on you, dude. And he stands up, and this is the restaurant. And he goes, hey, right here, guys. Yeah. And all the people around our tables. Listen, I said, yeah, she had a crush on you and all that. And I told him about when she met you. And he goes, yeah. And I said, Beach Blast. Yeah. And I said, yeah, I told her, I said, you met Bruce Arian? She said, no, I didn't. And he goes, I said, yeah, you did. You met him at Beach Blast. And I said, it was that old guy. He chased me around the table.
There you go.
So
there you go.
But okay,
So,
back to Michelle.
Now, Michelle, for those that don't know Michelle, very respected pilot, very talented, not just a pilot, a captain of Delta.
My wingman.
All right.
You ask him. Nothing with Mike Teefy. Mike is he'll love, okay? But I'm the wingman.
All right. What's her
okay. So every time we go flying, we went up to Indiana Hogs, and we're flying, and we just had a rain up there, but the field's pretty dry except for one little spot on the field. Mm-hmm. And the show came in, and she landed in the wet spot and slipped. And she gets up and she goes, damn, I hit the wet spot. We said, yep. Well, then we're flying at another field. She did. Then we're down at Mike Britt's place, and it was just Michelle and I flying in the morning. And it was kind of it was a good breeze, but it was nice, calm air. And so I told her, I said, let's go. So we're heading out to 50. And usually from Mike's place to get out to 50 and stuff, or not 50, but I think it's 520. It usually takes about 15 minutes. So we take off and we head out that way. And I look at my watch, and we're heading over the power lines right by now. That can't be right. It's taking us about 4 minutes to get out here. And I'm looking, so I turn around, and we're going backwards.
Right.
And so I get on the radio. I said, Michelle, I said, turn around. And she goes, what? I said, we need to head back, and it's going to take us a while to get back. And she goes, what's going on? I said, just turn around. She turned around. She goes, hey, we're flying backwards. And remember, she's just knew. I said, no. I said, let your trimmers out. She goes, my what? I said, okay, let off your throttle. Let's get down low, and we'll get, we'll penetrate that way. So we did, and we're flying. Now, she's an awesome pilot. I mean, Lily, she is an awesome pilot. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about just, the Dreamliners and all that stuff. I'm talking about even the PPG, she's getting to be awesome. But she was coming into Mike's field, and I'm looking, and I said, okay, I'll land first. And being Michelle, she's a go-getter. And she said, no, I got it. I'm going in first. I said, okay, so I'm filming it. And I get behind her, and she's coming in, and you can actually hear me on the film. She said, she's not going to hit that wet spot. And sure enough, she hits the wet spot. Does the most beautiful split I've ever seen. And she's laying down there. I mean, she's sitting down there on a split with arms out like this. And there's two guys sitting on the field too. Now I'm flying over, filming it, and I land and turn around, and I'm filming it. And she's looking at me, and these two guys, it was Captain Don and Glenn Boyd, and they all got cameras and stuff. And she looks at me, she goes, I hit the wet spot, just like that. And so I looked at her, and I looked over at them, and they went, yep. And I said, okay, wet spot. So that's the call sign, is wet spot.
There you go.
That's how she got it. So,
well, you can go up to her, and if you're watching this video at Bad Apples, I'm sure she'll be there May 13th.
Oh yeah.
15th. So you can go and say, "What's up, wet spot?" She'll be
glad.
The tall blonde.
Yeah. She'll answer that with no problem at all. So
there you go. Well, my friend,
I got one more story for you real fast, just in case.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. I just thought about it. We went to flying in Texas, a whole bunch of us, and on the way back, I think it was in Galveston, and we had a great time on the beach flying down there, the RVs and stuff. But on the way back, Dave Ingersoll said, hey, let's stop in Biloxi and go ahead and hit the casinos and all that stuff. And they had a nice RV park there too, so we got to stay at the RV park. Well, the next morning he goes, "Hey, let's go flying. Let's fly the beach of Biloxi." So I called the Air Force Base, who had control for that place, and I said, "Okay, this is Tim Gaskins." I said, "I used to do what you're doing." I said, "We'd like to fly here. Here's what we fly. If we stay below 400 feet," he goes, "No problem. Stay below 400 feet, and you'll be good." So we get down to the beach and we take off. And this is early in the morning, and we're flying up and down the beach. Well, we're heading down. I want to say we're heading to the west, and I look down and I see these 3 police cars on the highway with the lights on. And so I start looking up there. I'm thinking there's an accident, and I'm looking way past it. I said, "I don't see the accident. What if they get lights on for?" So we go down about 5 miles, turn around, we're coming back, and now I look over on my left side. I went, "Damn, where's all these accidents?" Didn't even think about it.
Mm.
The other time we turned around, I looked down, and now I said, "Wait a minute, it's got to be us." Well, Brad Powell and Dave Ingersoll, they land, and I land right behind them and stuff. These police come running out to us, and they're going, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" We're saying, well, "We're just flying. We're just flying." And after talking to them, they said, "You're not going to believe this. The casinos called them saying they thought we were going to do an Ocean's 11. We were going to land on the roof. Swear to God, we were going to land on the roof, steal and rob them, and then take off." And we started laughing. We said, "Do you think we could do it with these motors?" True story.
What?
So the guy goes, "Well, next time you call," I said, "Hey, I cleared it with the Air Force Base right there, and since they had the controlling over it, and we did everything." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Just give us a call and let you know. So when they call, we can tell them no, they're fine."
Yeah.
But then they got interested in it too. But yeah, I'll never forget it. You guys, I thought you were going to do an Ocean's 11. What?
You asked me earlier what I thought the craziest thing that's happened to me while I was flying. And yeah. I don't know. I mean, without thinking about that, I could say the fish. I could say, I've had some amazing flights, same flying.
Have you been flashed yet?
What's that? Have you
been flashed yet?
Flashed yet. I keep asking my wife and she won't do it. I have not been flashed yet. I have not tried to get flashed.
It doesn't count if it's the wife. It's got to be a total stranger.
Oh, well, Rick Davies, does that count or no? Probably not.
He does have a nice set.
Wow.
Hey, what's the name of that song by is it Covington? Show them to me.
Are you talking about let me see them?
Yeah. That's why I keep thinking he doesn't care, just show them to me. That one guy standing up in the audience doing it.
Yeah, I think there was a cartoon video of it too. Link in the description, possibly. You're going to be coming to a lot of fly-ins this year. It's not even so if someone can't get to Bad Apples. I know you're coming out. You're probably coming up for Dave Purdon in Southwest Ohio.
I'll do as many as I can.
You're going to try to do Oshkosh. You're going to try to do EFD. I think you told me.
I'm going to try to do as many as I can.
All right, cool.
It all depends. I mean, right now, I only got, counting tomorrow, I only have 3 treatments left. Yeah. And then, like I said, my surgeon called me up from Houston, asked me if I'd come out there to do the imagery because they're really ecstatic about this. And after that, hopefully everything's cleared. And I get the green light, and I already told Sue I'm
doing it. What do you think's the craziest thing that's happened to you
in this sport?
Yeah.
Oh, in this sport. Well, really, the only craziest thing is going into the tree the very first flight. But after that,
just smooth sailing.
Huh?
It's been smooth sailing.
Well, I wouldn't say smooth sailing. I mean, I've had a prop and a motor come in flight come apart on me, and but just landed. I've had really that's really about it. I guess the other only craziest one is Jeff Gilman and myself. We were up at the India Hogs and we were foot dragging the runway back and forth, and I'm behind Jeff, and Jeff was over by the bean fields, and we lost all wind or something because we both went down. We both at the same time. He lost. I saw him go to the bean field, and then I like that, and I pulled and flared and landed, and I didn't think anything was wrong. I just thought we lost it. So I turned around, and I go running over to Jeff, and he's fine. We get the motor out, and we get the wing out of that bean field, and he takes off. I go back to get my motor, and I get everything in like that, and I go to set the wing up, and I get that set up, and I go to get my motor, and I'm looking at it, where's my prop?
Oh my God.
I got about this much left on my prop, and it's all disintegrated. And I didn't even know it. And I'm looking, we can't find anything. Really, we cannot find anything on the hoop and stuff. And Dale Miller came and he goes, I was videoing that up there. And you can see it. I do it. I said, that is the strangest thing, but the prop came apart, just came apart. And that's sitting up that's at the building. We made one of those things where things are hanging down from it. So we got all the pieces of that prop and put it down, and it's got at the clubhouse. Yeah. It's got that thing. But I think that's the strangest thing, because I don't know if I didn't ever see any rocks, and I don't think I kicked a rock up, but that's the strangest thing, because I know I didn't hit anything and like that. And I went, what the hell happened? It just literally, and didn't even realize it. Yeah. So, but I'm glad it came apart when it did after I landed. So, who knows?
Crazy.
So, somehow it did it.
That's paramotor crazy right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. But basically, that's really everything else is just watching other people and just seeing some of the stuff go on. Watching get in one flight. Bad apple number 13 is call sign violation. Gabe Vasquez. If there's a rule, he's going to violate it. It's just the way it is. And we're down at Pine Island, and he goes to take off, and he does a total at full throttle, and it doesn't do anything to the motor or the prop. Lands right on his back, full throttle, didn't do a thing to it. And they said, okay, it's still an active runway down there, so don't cross the runway. Gabe takes off, heads out, does a 3 riser twist. As he's up here, he's flying over the runway, unhooks it. I mean, literally gets out of it and then just flies off. That's one of the strangest things I've seen. I mean, that close to the ground, he got out of it and really, I mean, just the total, doing a total at full throttle, kicking up dust and like that. And we said, well, he just screwed his prop up. And we get up and there's no damage at all. So, who knows?
Do you have so you probably have over 1,000 flights over all these years, right?
Yeah, I got way over that.
Way over 1,000. Okay, couple 2,000?
Yeah.
All right. Do you ever have a memory of this was my best launch or my best landing?
Yeah, actually, I do. It was with Del Miller. One of the best flights I had was Del Miller. We went out to a place called Brazelton. This is just one of those morning flights in Georgia. It was calm, it was cool, and it's summertime. And Dell and I showed up, and we were the only ones. And we got to the 400 field. We took off, beautiful takeoffs, and it was the butter smooth flying. And we flew for about an hour and 40 minutes, and came in and landed. It was one of the best flights we've ever had. I mean, everything was peaceful and comfortable, and it was just great. And it was just one of those flights that, and I've had a whole bunch of it since then. But I think that was really one of the first nice smooth flights that it got to one point. I kept looking up to the wing to see if I was still flying. It was so smooth.
Wow.
I'm going, is it that smooth? And you could have flown the whole thing hands off.
We love those flights. We absolutely love flights.
Oh, yeah.
For me, there was a landing that I had, and for me, I don't know if I'll ever be able to duplicate it as well. And it was at the Swanee Flying, and it was cold. In fact, Rick and I were just talking about how cold it was. That was the coldest he's ever flown. I think it was under 40 degrees.
Oh, you guys are nuts. I did too.
I fly
now I know better.
Yeah. So coming for a landing, and I was flying the trike, and I landed and I taxied for probably about 400 to 500 yards. It was a long taxi, and I could see my canopy way ahead of me. And as I came in, Dave Ruff happened to be sitting down having a cup of coffee right in front of my canopy, and I have it all on film. And I laid the canopy right behind him, and then the canopy crumbled right over on top of him. And then all you see is his middle finger come out from underneath it. It was the greatest way I could have possibly landed or finished off a fly, and it was absolutely awesome.
I did that to Cece at the river. Well, I want you to go flying with me. She can run. Now, one thing about Cece, she's been doing this almost 25 years, but you don't talk to her until she's had her coffee. I mean, it's like, you don't want to do it. It's nasty. It's ugly. If you come up to her before she's had her coffee in the morning, you do it at your own peril. Okay. After that, she's fine. Okay. But she was out there, and she came out on the boat with us, and she only had one cup. So she was okay. Well, I came in and I landed, and my wing went right over her and landed on her. And it was basically the same thing. You see this, went like this, and you just see this coming out from the wing. So,
Well, I'm pretty sure in this episode we've pissed off plenty of people and embarrassed quite a few. So we may not be able to show our faces. I don't know.
No. I look at this way. You can do a lot of things as long as nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to damage equipment and you're going to get your pride hurt and all that. But my pride left me about 2 seconds after I met the bad apples. Okay, that was gone. any little mistake, like that. That's why I told people. I said, in this sport, you got to have some thick skin.
Yeah.
And just go with it, have fun with it, enjoy it. As long as you're not a jerk about rubbing a guy and stuff like that, but have fun with it. It's a great sport, great guys, great people. Best people I've ever met, Lily, in my life is PPG guys. Now you got a couple out there, but I say on majority, they're great, and it's a great sport to be in. And I think it's the growth of it. You're helping with this with PPG, our PPG Nation. You're helping because people look at this and listening and all that. The growth of this sport, I think it's just way more. Because when we first started, there wasn't that many of us. And you go down to a beach. When we did the first Lighthouse tour, Marty, Rob, Mike, and CC, and Steve, we went down there and we flew this one place, and they didn't even know anything about us. They didn't know anything about it. And they said, "What are you guys doing?" And we flew it, and we talked to the ranger, and he goes, "Hey, you guys can come back next year." But they call it the Lost Coast of Florida. We got so tired of all the flying that we did. By the time we got to Beach Blast, because we timed it to get a Beach Blast, we were so flown out, we didn't want to fly. And Marty actually talked me into flying, and he grabbed my gear and said, "Come on, you got to go flying at least." And I took off, and I remember I went down to Shell Island, turned around, came back and landed. And he goes, "What?" And I said, "That was Boeing." And he goes, "Well, go west." So I took off again and went west, came back, and I said, it's beach flying compared to the mountains I've flown and other countries and, in the desert. And if you ever get out to Glamour Sand Dunes, it's awesome.
I will.
It's awesome. You may get flashed out there. Well, that's what Leslie Britt got her first flash, and I got it on camera. I was flying behind her, and these women were on top of the thing, and they started flashing. Well, Leslie's flying, and she squeezed me, Mike Britt's daughter, and she's flying on behind her. Well, Frank and I behind her, and all of a sudden she looks down, and these women start flashing. And it was one of these, like if you can imagine sitting behind her, and you see Leslie, she looks like this, and it's like. And she keeps on going, and I'm laughing. I took a picture of it. And so when we landed, Leslie, eyes about this big, she goes, "I got flashed." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Everybody else did too." but I got it all on camera.
That's awesome. Well, I'm sure Leslie will never be the same after that. All right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you so much for all your time last week and this week. Appreciate it, buddy. I can't wait to see you at Bad Apples in just a couple.
Can't wait to be there. I've been dying for this to come. I'm just Lily. I cannot wait for this.
I know, man. We'll have more stories. We're going to make new stories, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. And just everybody, please come to Bad Apples. It's for a great cause. And if you could meet some of these guys and see what they've been through and what they do for you and what they've done for you, then to give back to them, it is worth it. And that's what the whole reason for this flying is for Spurgeon's PPG.
And maybe for every donation you make, Todd will give you a hug. He's getting hugs. There you go.
His hugs are good. His hugs are worth it.
Got those baby blues. He looks deep in your eyes. It's kind of freaky.
Well, I'm a lot shorter than him, so I've never met his eye level yet. I get to his boob level.
I know. All right, guys. We'll see you Sunday night on Our Paramotor Nation. Thanks, Tim. Talk to you later, buddy.
Thanks, Dave. Have a good one, buddy. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching OPN One-on-One. Join us next week as David is joined by Larry DeChico of Para Orange Products. Larry will be telling us about many of the products offered by Para Orange, as well as many of the trials and tribulations he has faced while flying. Leave a comment if you enjoyed the show and give us a thumbs up. We look forward to seeing you next Tuesday morning on OPN One-on-One.